Martin Cothran from the Family Foundation of Kentucky. He's got some tremendous experience, and I'm going to turn it over to him for a few minutes.
And I'll be very brief. I know it's been a long day for you. Yeah, my experience, I'm going to leave the data to Jim and Dick. They've got more statistics than any of us out there were. My experience is actually working with charters. Most of my experience in my own professional life has been in private schools. I co-founded Highlands Latin School in Louisville, Kentucky, and the curriculum that's used there, that was produced there, is used in schools across the country, and a lot of the schools that use it are charter schools. And so I've had a lot of actual interaction with charter headmasters and staff, and I just want three things real quick on what I hear from them as being the problem things, the things that you need to have in a charter bill if possible. Number one, the issue of an authorizing body that is the local school district is problematic for a lot of charters. I've got a charter school in Minnesota. I won't use their name, but the local school district does everything they possibly can to prohibit them from succeeding. They've got an empty school facility that's fairly new, that is I notice this is addressed in your bill, Phil, that is not being used. They will not let them use it, so they had to go rent out an old shopping center. This sort of thing. They try to do everything they can so that having that local school district that looks like, that views the charter as if it's in competition with it. It's not good to have the people you're in competition with overseeing what you're doing. So just a little thing there. Making sure that they have as close as you can to the same amount of money, because the Great Arts Academies in Arizona, and these are classical charter schools, which means they're great books, liberal arts programs, and Latin is a core subject in these schools. It's the old stuff, and they have to make up about $1,200 per child per year. Now that means two things, not just that they don't have as much money as the public schools, so when you get into comparisons between the two, it's really not a fair comparison, but they have to raise the money. So they have to spend staff time that that the public school gets to use to do stuff. They've got to use it to raise money to make up for that lack. So that's a huge problem. And then finally, and I know Phil, you said that teachers being certified, so I'll put this as a plea, but when Kim, you said qualified teachers. A qualified teacher is different from a certified teacher. The Great Arts Academies will not go to a state that would require them to use all certified teachers because of what they do. They can't get teachers trained to do what they do from teacher training programs. They have to get their teachers from Hillsdale College's classical program, the University of Dallas, St. Thomas Aquinas College, that give them that background. If you want to be innovative in a school, it's hard to be innovative if your entire teaching staff is made up of people who go to teachers' colleges where there's that much innovation. There's a certain pedagogy that's taught in these schools. I'll give you another example of this. The Roger Bacon Academies in Wilmington, North Carolina. They have three schools. One of them is an inner city school, called Frederick Douglass Academy. And they use a direct instruction teaching model, which means the teacher's in control. It's very regimented. This is in the inner city, and these kids are thriving with this. In order to do that, you can't do it with certified teachers that are trying to teach.
Clarify something.
Yeah.
Certified teachers in Kentucky, we do have alternative certifications to get it to be able to teach. It's not just one type.
Okay.
And I have been told, and I have not yet seen it, that there's a bill going to come out of the Senate that's going to expand the alternative certification programs.
Yeah. Okay.
And I've been, because when I pushed back on it in the bill, when the discussions, they were saying it's not what it seems today. It's going to be a little bit better.
Right. But in that case, with the charter, you have this direct instruction model,
And they're doing it with the full support of the charter entity. Let me contrast that with something that happened here in Louisville several years ago. This is probably 10 or 12 years ago. This is what I was talking about earlier with Jim and Dick. I think it was still the Curious test at that time. It may be CATS, but they came out with the biennial numbers. And I was standing outside 131, I think, and the department was in there testifying along with somebody from Lincoln Elementary School, which had increased its reading scores in that biennium 65%. Two other schools in Louisville had increased by almost that much. So I'm thinking something is weird here. So I walk out in the hallway, I make a call to Lincoln Elementary, I get in touch with the reading teacher. They're doing direct instruction there. I said, that means intensive, systematic, phonic, I mean, all the old school stuff that we tell teachers doesn't work anymore. The reason that, and it turns out those two other schools that had done well were also part of that grant that was given to those schools. Senator Neal actually got the grant for the same bunch of black pastors probably that you were dealing with for a 3-year pilot program there. It was hugely successful, but after the grant was gone, they shut that program down as quickly as possible. That's what you get in a lot of these public school programs. There's just not a mentality of innovation. You have that mentality in a place that is the freedom even in what kind of teachers you hire. The Great Arts Academies, for example, I think probably less than 40% of their teachers are certified. They're hugely successful. 4 of the top 11 schools in Arizona are Great Arts Academies. And to back up one of Jim's points, the public schools now in Phoenix, where there are 19 of these Great Arts Academies, are starting to change over to this liberal arts model, copying the charter. They do have the effect of, the success emanates out from those schools. Finally, let me make one point. We were talking about, you were saying that when you see charters come in, you also see more of the school choice thing. This is important. This, as somebody who deals with both charters and private schools, you do need to be careful that you pass a choice, or in our case, a tax credit legislation at the same time or close to when you pass a charter bill. Because if a charter school, think about the dynamics of this, if a charter school moves in down the street from that little private Christian school that you've always supported there in your community, guess what happens to that little private school? It will suck them dry. So that you need to level the playing field. And so when you look at the charter legislation, please look at those tax credits for those schools so that it equalizes things out. That make sense?